Go on.
Hey, what's up? What's going on? I just bumped into this gentleman here who found me and also dropped a CV by, which I appreciated. Look, why did you come looking for me? What have you been seeing that we've been putting out lately that's resonated with you?
What's resonated with me is that London Real tries to provide a balanced perspective in this situation and doesn't try to, it tries to do things honestly and provide an honest side of the debate. It's not trying to shape people's opinions in a certain way, and that is what stood out to me, and that's what I found really important in what you guys do. You're getting people on from all sides, and you know, when you listen to the mainstream media, it is mainly just one narrative, isn't it? But what you're doing is providing a broad range of people to come on, and so we can make our own minds up, and that concept in itself really resonated with me as being something fair and something that I believed in.
No, I appreciate that. What do you think of the fact that we're being told that we can't put out certain content, like you know, it's censorship, just to say that, like, you can't listen to someone else's opinion? What do you think about that, honestly?
Well, I think that people have short memories. It was VE Day 3 weeks ago. How many millions of people gave their lives for us to have our freedom to govern ourselves, be sovereign, and most importantly, one of those things is also free speech. To shape a narrative and to prevent people from speaking out, I think it's disgraceful. And you know, to be labelled as conspiracy theorists or to be labelled as someone that is trying to upset people and destabilise people as well and what they're thinking, just because it's a different side of the argument or the debate, I think it's really shocking. And to limit people's free speech in that respect is definitely not a good thing.
Yeah.
Definitely not a good thing.
I had somebody come up to me and he said, "Brian, I think David Icke is crazy." And I said, "Great." I said, "But you got to actually listen to him so you can make that conclusion."
Yeah.
I said, "You can make whatever conclusion you want. I just want you to have the right to make the conclusion. You know, I just don't like the fact that someone is saying you can listen to this, but you can't listen to that."
No, I've listened to the interviews you've done with David, and I don't agree with everything that he said, but I certainly think, well, hey, that's what he thinks. Let's at least look into that. I don't have to come to that conclusion myself, but I should be able to listen to what he says as a sovereign individual that has the right to speak his mind in a free society, or a semi-free society as we have now, and make that decision myself. And that's really important. We should, you know, if we don't have that, then what kind of society are we living in?
Yeah, and I think, like you said, a VE Day was recent. I think we forgot, because we've grown up in this, you know, in this society where we just assume that we have these things. We take it for granted, this freedom of speech, but everything is built on freedom of speech. Like, if you can't speak your mind, you go back to these regimes that we were at war with. You know, I had a guy from Romania stop me on the street. He said, "Brian, I lived there for 18 years. He's like, I moved to London because I couldn't speak my mind." And he said, "Now I'm finding that I can't speak my mind here."
In London.
Yeah, which is weird. And now,
Backwards, isn't it?
now it's weird. You got these private companies that are these tech platforms where most of our speech happens, especially when we're on lockdown. And now they every time I bring up certain words and certain topics, that is considered now not allowed. So free speech has moved to something.
They're not elected, are they?
No.
We don't get a say in that.
No, and they're more powerful than our governments.
Absolutely.
And so it's what I call digital freedom of speech, and it's just as important. So, you know, I wrote this big open letter. We got almost 125,000 signatures, but we're basically saying we want the legislation of digital freedom of speech. We need our governments to step up and say it's enough. I mean, look, President Trump, you know, gave Twitter a shout out the other day and said, you know, you're censoring my stuff. And look, I think it's a step in the right direction. You know, final thoughts from you on all this stuff.
I think that more people are waking up to it. I think that more people are. I think the more people are sensing that the truth is not what we're being told. I don't think it's everyone, but I think it's a much bigger proportion of people than realise that what we are told on a daily basis, myself included, is not necessarily always as it really is. And I think as more and more time goes on, that is going to snowball. And I really see how much traction this is getting, you know, what you're doing, and just generally the amount of people that are asking questions, which is a great thing. It's a really great thing. Questioning authority and questioning the narratives that are put out there by governments and the mainstream media. And I hope more than anything that things change for the better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I do too. We want to just keep putting these ideas out there so we can have these conversations. People are waking up. I mean, probably The worst thing that could have ever been done is banning David Icke, because everybody wants to see what it's all about. I mean, luckily, because of the internet, we actually can move files around. Unfortunately, because these platforms are monopolies, it's hard to get it out to everybody. So the fight continues.
But that's why what you're doing is so important.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to keep doing. So we've got our own digital freedom platform, which is amazing. We're able to stream. We got Ike back in 2 weeks, but that's more of a symbol of the fact that we need to keep doing this stuff. So look, man, I appreciate you. Thanks for coming out here. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate all of you out there that are watching and sharing this stuff. Look, we're going to get through this, but there are these powerful institutions that have been built by the way things are. That's what I'm feeling. And so when you try to change them up a little bit, sometimes they resist. They resist with censorship and things like that. But if we keep talking about this stuff, I know we're going to be successful. So there you go. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate you all out there. Again, if you want to take some action, then come check us out, share the video, sign the digital letter. It's all good, man. All right?
Cool.
All right. Peace.